Hello everyone, sorry. Hello everyone, sorry. Hello everyone, sorry.
Is that working okay now? Dear oh dear, everybody.
Apologies everyone.
Sorry.
I'm just sorting out the video as well because apparently the sizing has gone a bit ski whiff. But you can introduce us while I do that, Dom.
Yeah, okay. So, hello. This is Dom and Tom from Black Toad Studios, and welcome to episode 90 of Dom and Tom Sit, Talk, and Hobby. So, if you're new to this stream, normally we have technical problems, but we try and mix it up and have different technical problems. So what we'll normally do is we'll sit and we'll do some hobby and we'll chat and we'll catch up and we'll do all hobby fun stuff. We encourage you also to be doing exactly the same and be doing a bit of drinking and a bit of hobby and join in, bit of banter and ask any questions and we'll be asking questions of you. So as Tom's sorting this out, what are you guys working on tonight in the world of hobby? I can tell you what I'm working on, Tom, because I know you're curious as you do that. I am working on some necrons, because we'll go into this in a bit. But I've got we've got a tournament coming up this weekend.
We do.
So I've got some heavy destroyers down here. I've got a little chronomancer guy here. Some bases. I think I've actually painted these bases, so these bases are done, which are looking quite
there
snazzy.
we go. Got it. There we go. Sorry about that. There we go.
Mr. Blue is basing trees. What scale trees are you working on? Vanguard is still at work. Oh, Vanguard, what are you doing at work, mate? That's not what you want. Tom, what hobby are you working on tonight?
Me? That is a very good question. And now that I've sorted out
Why
all
have
of
asked?
my madness over here, yeah. So obviously, as you said, we're going to tournament. So I'm currently working on the last model for this tournament, which is little armor class knight here, with a warglaive one. After having just finished up this little gentleman, which has a little bit of touch-up work, so I've got to do his little banner bit on the front there.
Jingy.
Yeah, but overall, fairly happy with that. So yeah, working on some knight bits and a couple of the top attachments from them as well, because I went with the twin auto cannons on both of the slightly
Oh
smaller
wow!
knights. Yes.
Oh, on the big one, you went with the auto cannons.
Not on the big one. The
Or
the
on
two
the other
the
two
two
big
other
ones.
knights. Yeah, that I've got on the list. So
Oh wow! Okay,
yeah.
it's interesting.
Well,
Nice.
yeah, I thought about the storm spears, but they were quite expensive, and actually, I thought these actually quite nice against flyers. But they also, because they're twin, that's 4 shots from these at 2 damage apiece as well. So
That's cool.
yeah.
Very cool. Nice. Oh, that's good. And who else? We got Necromunda board for comp, and some Orlock Mastiffs, and a Wolf Lord. Very cool. What else is people working on? Hopefully some good stuff there.
I hope there's some bad stuff actually.
Bad stuff. Yeah. Don't encourage good stuff. It's pure bad, horrible stuff to be going on with.
Things. We just want.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we've got a tournament this weekend, so I'm kind of trying to panic paint through all this, but also not kind of ruin it myself.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm
rush it through.
It's exactly the same boat. I mean, this is, to be fair, luckily the little armigers aren't too difficult to paint in my opinion. They're actually fairly simple. So I tried to make sure I got the big knight done first, which I did over the weekend. So all good.
All potatoes. Nice, nice. So talking about the weekend, might as well talk about hobby and stuff. Myself and Dave Holland, he is in the chat tonight. There he is. Daryl's building some shining spits. Oh, Daryl. So we entered a double tournament at our local store. We played Space Wolves, Dave Holland special, and I took along my Chaos Knights. It was 1,000 points apiece. 3 games. For my Chaos list, I took a Knight Spoiler with a Rapid Fire Battle Cannon and the Avenger Gatler. On the Carapace weapon, I had the Havoc Missile Launcher. So I think we're just saying about the auto cannon. The Havoc Missile Launcher is a cheap option for Chaos. It's like a Strength 5 D6 shots. No AP, 1 damage, I think. And can shoot out of sight. So it's a cool little thing to have on there. And I took 3 Executioners, which are the Helverin versions. So the ones with the auto cannons.
Nice.
with House Vexatrix. And Dave had a Space Wolf Force. Dave, I'm going to probably get this completely wrong, but I'm going to tell you what you had.
That's
so
what you're going
he
to have
had,
to go with as well. You can't change it.
Sorry.
So.
2 squads of Wolfen, 2 squads of 5 with Thunder Hammers, and a couple of shields and lightning claws on or whatever claws they have on the sergeant. A chaplain on a bike. You had 3 squads of Wolfguard with jump packs and lightning claws. Squad of aggressors with the bolter gauntlet thingy-majingies. 2 cyber wolves as standard. What were the other HQ choices you had there?
Yeah, more than one, did he, old Dave? A HQ choice. That's unusual for him.
Well, it was a Vanguard, and what else did he have? Just one HQ chaplain.
Judica.
Sure there was something else. Judica. Boom. Yes, that was the one. Judica. Anyway, so we had 3 games. So first game, I'm going to go run through briefly what I had. So if you were at that event, and I don't remember much of your names, many of your names or your details, I apologise. I am terrible with names and faces and any recognition of anyone.
Doesn't even know who I am half the time.
Yes, I do. Of course I do, Tim. So, first game was against Admech and Imperial Guard. Really fun guys. One of them was called Cody. I can't remember the name of the other one. Dave, please, if you know the names, jump in with them here. And it was a very fun first game. Like an infantry heavy Admech list. A few of the old chicken walkers going in, 4 chicken walkers. The guard player had 3 Lehman Russes. So tank commander, 2 standard Russes, which were punishers. Tank commander was a demolisher. He brought the Gaunt's Ghost, which I thought was a cool choice.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really nice. A couple of Ogrim bodyguards, 3 squads of psychers. It was a really kind of like interesting list. An engine seer. Nice like group of stuff going on there. We got the first turn. And I took out 2 of the chicken walkers in the first volley of shots, which I thought was a very good idea because they're quite nasty. Yeah, I think after we took them out, it was a bit harder for them to target the knights. However, Dave's Space Wolves took a little bit of a beating in the centre because those punishers had heavy flamer sponsons and heavy flamers in the hulls. And they definitely burnt some wolves in the centre. So Dave lost, I'd probably say, correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, probably about a third of your army in that centre. But, however, the Space Wolves did push through and we just pushed them back further and further. Very aggressive turns from us, and we won that with a very convincing score. I think it was like 90-something to 20-something or 30-something. It was very pretty nice. Brutal. So we're like, ooh, very nice. We've done well here. So after that, we played against Tyranids and Guard again. So 2 lots of Guard. He had Deathcore Krieg. Very nice army, all Forge World, except for a couple of the Kill Team ones that he'd kind of chucked in for special weapon variants and stuff. Beautiful army. And in that army was a lot of infantry, a Manticore, a Lehman Russ Punisher, Lehman Russ Demolisher, and like the key Krieg units that you don't see because he was using complete Forge World rules, which was brilliant.
Better.
Yeah, so he had like a cavalry officer that somehow just popped out from nowhere. It's like running along, and he had engineers and grenadiers. Tyranid had the horrible big unit. I can't think what it's called. Malifrope, is it? Dave, you'll have to tell me what. No, well, he had several of those. It was a pretty nasty list. Yes, you did, Mr. Blue. You did say several months ago that Flavor Russes are good. Malceptor. Yeah, Malceptor.
Oh, the big, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So once again, we were lucky enough to go first turn. Unfortunately for Ben, who was the Tyranid player, he left his Malceptor kind of open. So my big knight just ripped it apart. Like if I asked for better rolls in my entire life, I'd never get them.
Did the harpoon do anything?
No, I didn't use the harpoon. I used the battle cannon and Gatler one. And the battle cannon got like 11 shots. It was just brutal. I completely ripped it apart, knocked him off an objective, and then it was then on the back foot to try and put more stuff on there. So he had the exocrine as well. So in the following turn, the exocrine and the manticore jumped on that objective. Both then also got blasted off. And it was just these points, just massive point losses for the Tyranid and Guard player in the end. It was a close game because the Guard infantry and the Lehman Russes really did a lot of damage to the Space Wolves again. The volume of shots and those sixes automatically wounding and the orders going off, shredding through the Guard, through the Space Wolves. And I think that was probably one of our close games. I think we're about like 80-ish points each. Really good opponents. Like first game, second game, amazing opponents.
Third game though, you had.
Third game, yeah, right bunch of pricks. No, but we'd won the first two games, and we're kind of going into the last one with a bit of yep, we can do this. We've done two. We've just all the pressure's now on the third, and then you get your third opponent who's like, we've done two. All the pressure's on the third. But luckily, it was a friend of mine, and we played Grey Knights and Dark Angels. So very nice combination, like really psychic, smitey heavy, and the other one just sits there and just kind of like, you can't move me. So we got a Bore the Witch was one of our secondaries. So we really focused fire on the poor old Grey Knights that had to charge forward. And first turn, got the Grandmaster in his suit down to 1 wound with a couple of volleys of shots. Got another suit, did a bit of damage on that one as well. And then he had three suits to start with, a load of infantry. It was a very nasty. Yeah, the Manticore, it did a bit of damage actually. The Manticore it only got one lot of shots off because it just got. Unfortunately, the guard player had no choice. He had to kind of go, look, you either. Where it was positioned, the bigger knight was going to come around and get a bead on it and shoot it. And it would have been, his Manticore would have been off the objective. So he kind of went, look, I'm going to get shot next turn. I need to like gamble and get that Manticore on the objective. If I survive, we score some primaries, amazing stuff. But as I said, he didn't survive long. But it did get shot off and it really, really hurt the big knight. Didn't kill it, but did a nasty sting to its tail there. Anyway, for the last game, obliterated the Grey Knights. They were kind of out in the open. We had a Bore the Witch, so we're trying to get those points up by killing Psyker units. Dark Angels doing what they do best with Terminators, just sit there and just kind of go, I'm on these objectives, try and shift me. And it was a really tough game. However, we did win by 6 points in the end. So we went away winning all 3 games, scoring relatively high on most of them, and winning the tournament. So, solid. Dave Holland, thank you very much. Really enjoyable game day, and everyone that we played, amazing opponents, really nice guys. So yeah, really good little event.
Good.
And that was our games. It was quite nice. And it was in walking distance as well. So we had a victory point afterwards and I walked home. So win-win.
Oh, can't say fairer than that really, can you?
Oh, exactly. All good. Kit back vehicle. What's it walk to right? Yeah. New word bearer rules. Yes. Yeah, I'm really excited about the word bearer rules. Vanguard. I've obviously ordered my codex. We're not savvy to pre-orders. Getting stuff early.
Don't do it.
But what I've seen of the new word bearer stuff, I'm really looking forward to it. I think there's some really good stuff there. Seeing that you can still get cult troops, but there's a few ramifications if you take cult troops. But that's good as well.
Doesn't mean you can still take your guys, by the way. You know that.
Plague Marines.
You just play them as the Chaos Marines with the mark, I presume. That's probably the best way of.
You can still run them as Plague Marines.
You can still run Plague Marines. Ah.
Yeah, but you got to pay the cost of the Mark of Nurgle on them as well.
Fair enough. I mean that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? So.
But with the you get free upgrades on Death Guard, on Plague Marines now.
Yeah.
So the 2 squads I've got are Plague Marines. Paying that 15 points, it's like nothing. I'm just like, cool. Whatever, 15 points. I've got a couple of plasma guns, a banner, plasma pistols, a couple of other stuff going on. Yeah, 15 points is nothing. So, yeah, it's all good. Reroll, all hit on a mob of 10 possessed is going to be terrifying. Yeah. And the secondary for word bearers as well, about going in the center and doing whatchamacallit, activation-y thing, doing a action. That's the word.
You can do it, Dom. You can do it.
The thing. I'm really looking forward to it. I want to see what they can do. So I'm hyped.
I had to get a game sorted out as soon as the codex drops. See if we can get a game.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But who do you want to play against? That's the question.
Well, whoever. I mean, guys, this is for the chat. Who do you think my word bearers should play first on the channel? I think we all know. I mean, look below. Who do you think it should be? Yeah, so exciting stuff.
Yeah, I mean, obviously me and Vicky have ordered the book as well, so I can get the Night Lords on. Templars. I mean, it would be wrong not to, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's got to be Templars, isn't it?
All right.
It's what we're all about.
Okay, I'll lose with the Templars again. Jesus.
Oh, World Eaters. Oh, nice. Yeah, good point. Yeah, so in theory, I could still use my World Eaters with my word bearers.
You could, yeah. You could do 2 detachments, can you? I take it, saying.
We'll take them as the elite choice.
Ah.
Because they're still cult troops.
When you say elite,
Take my word berserkers. Super elite.
No.
Pardon?
Nothing. And obviously, talking of tournaments and stuff, we are again going. Well, I'm going for my first one in quite a while, to be fair. This weekend with Dom up to a nearby town or city, I should say, Brighton, for another little session.
Yep. Should be good.
First time playing an army with them. That should be a really sensible thing to do, but we'll see how we go. The sole reason for that is I couldn't finish the Templar army I wanted to take. So I'm just going with something that I can actually get done in the time frame.
Gives you a good excuse to paint some Chaos Knights as well. Chaos Knights, Imperial Knights.
Yeah, oh yeah, no. Honestly, I've been looking forward to doing these for a while now. I bought my little extra knights, and I wanted to make my 2,000 point list, so I'm quite happy because I can now play them as a legal army without having to spend stupid amounts on upgrades to make that point jump. So, and I've got an additional army left over at the end to have a little variation. So, I'm probably going to pick up a couple more of the Moraxes, I think, or one more to make a 3 of the same type.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to maybe trying running 3 of the lightning lock ones together. That'd be quite cool.
Nice.
My little anti-troop setup. Yeah, because I was having a look at some of the stratagems for them, so it's a nice little.
Yes, Mr. Blue. Yeah, myself and Tom have just got to talk about it afterwards, but it's going to be sooner rather than later. Because we've got to get the codex. That's going to be arriving soonish.
Yes, that's next weekend,
hopefully.
So.
So myself and Vicky, obviously, because the sides are in our little faction for Chaos, for instance, which is the main reason we've postponed it. Is we've got Death Guard, Thousand Suns, some cheeky little demons kicking in there, Chaos Knights, World Eaters, and Chaos Space Marines. So most of them, Death Guard, Thousand Suns, Chaos Knights, we've got the codexes. Demons, we're not overly fussed because it's not a mass amount of stuff. It's just a couple of token demony bits. But Chaos Space Marines, including the World Eaters, obviously we need to kind of have a couple of days just to go through their rules and know what we're doing.
Feasible, yeah, because we don't want to.
Yeah.
You don't want to kind of make one person's day not as enjoyable, I suppose.
And also, yeah, you want to make it as easy as you can, because if you're playing a mass game, you don't want to be looking up for every rule. So you want a bit of time, a couple of days to be going through it and sorting it out. But yes, absolutely,
we're looking forward because it's been a long time since we've actually done one now. And obviously me and Don will probably get together and do our usual one at some point as well.
Yeah.
Where we just
exactly.
Kind of word bearer Templar thing or whatever as a kind of
monster.
Got to carry on our grudge match. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. It is a grudge match now.
And Templars. I think we're drawing at the moment, aren't we? I remember quickly.
Yeah, if I'm not sure, I think we are. So what I think we should do is ask these lovely people to go back and watch previous
All of our
Apocalypse
content.
games of Word Bearers versus Black Templars and see who's winning and who's drawing. And yeah, I mean it's been a tough couple of games. It's been a couple of draws out there, and I don't know. I think Chaos might be on the back foot the last couple of games, so it'd be interesting to see how we do.
I haven't watched one of our ones back for a while. Actually, I might have to do that.
I think we should definitely premiere it like we did last time, though.
Oh yes, I think we'll do that.
Maybe we'll have a bit more buffing time, but we'll definitely premiere it.
100%. We'll get it uploaded a few days before, and then we'll premiere it, and we'll do it over an evening, I reckon. Maybe we could do it on a stream night and watch it through.
Yeah, if everyone wants to do it on a stream night, that would be really good fun.
And or if not, we can do maybe a Friday night or somewhere with a bit more people have maybe a bit more time to watch the whole thing through, because obviously
get some popcorn.
Because we can do some designer commentary.
Yeah. Wait and see what happens. Are you guys up for that? Can we do it as a premiere again? All get together, get comfy, watch a big Apocalypse game together. Hopefully we'll get all the players that were involved on the stream as well.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Answer any questions. That should be quite an
enjoyable
one.
I suppose we just haven't done a lot of recently. It's a shame because it's the one thing I think we're still quite good at.
We love Apocalypse games. Apocalypse games are so much fun, and I kind of look at sometimes. This is no shade on other channels or other content creators, or other people that do Apocalypse games. It's not just narrow it down, but sometimes you have an Apocalypse game and it's just all the big stuff, and I think it takes away so much from the true epic size of the game.
It's not. I mean,
it's nice to have lots of. So we try and put as much, many infantry in as we can as well.
Because sometimes they get lost in all these units that don't really. They kind of one-shot most things anyway, especially at that level. You want to have a bit of a mix hence why we always put a limit on our super heavies and things like that to try and make it just so at least both sides have the same amount of points of super heavies. That's the key bit, I think. And obviously we'll both have a full-size knight each as well, which would be quite cool. Me and John will hopefully be doing a night off as well at some point, won't we? Where we play a
Titan off or a night off.
Both.
Yeah.
Well, we'll make an army and include because the Chaos and the big knight, the Chaos Titan and my Titan are the same point cost. So it's literally just about building a normal, maybe like a 2,000 point knight list, and then adding 2,500 on top for the Titan, just each, and then that way it's fair. And we'll try and make a suitable board for that particular game that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. That could be quite fun. Titan off.
It'll be nice because obviously I know you haven't used yours in anger yet, have you? So.
In anger? No, I have not used mine in anger yet. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be awesome.
So yeah, me too. Because I very rarely get to use my Titan that I bought many years ago, because it's just very rarely. It's very rare you come up with a game. Can I bring my Titan? Well, not really. That sounds a bit unfair. But now with all the point stuff actually finally coming together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Starting to you can see certain games being a bit more fair, but also equal, and also just having the rules actually make sense. I think that's the thing. I mean, on the plus side, because Games Workshop have finally come to this very long release schedule for 9th. It's nice to see everything's finally starting to go. Oh, I've got a codex. Yeah, me too. Because I think people are getting a bit annoyed with that because it's been almost 2 years, I think, hasn't it?
Been a long time. So, Tom, I think as we're talking about events and stuff, like we said, we're going to an event in Brighton this weekend. Do you want to go through what you've got for your Imperial Knights?
Sure can. Let me just get my.
Because I want to know as well. Let's find out together.
I'll grab my list out as well, so I make sure I don't actually make a mistake on it. Because I've actually got it right here.
Hello, Azafel. We are doing very well, thank you. How are you doing? Remember, guys, there's a little thumb at the bottom. Give it a little cheeky little like.
Yes, please. Yeah. And if you know anyone who might like to watch it, share it.
Yeah. Share it out. Tell a friend.
It's 2,000 points. Obviously, we're using this particular edition here, the Grand Tournament 11. I'm going to, just before we start, I'm going to say, actually, quite like this chapter approved. it's much more.
Oh yeah. Do you want to go on about that?
Yeah,
Because you've got it.
We'll do that first because obviously a lot of people probably covered this. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but actually for the obviously as you know, me and Dom's feelings on these books are a bit mixed. But because the points are now free, and this book here was, I think I bought it for £13 odd off Goblin. So it's almost half the price
Link
of what
below.
use that to buy this book. It's half the price of what we paid previously. I feel a bit more. I suppose I don't feel so aggrieved having to buy it as regularly if I have to. I think the only issue I have is obviously because I suppose you and me don't tend to go to a lot of GT events in quick succession.
How much usage are you going to get out of it?
That's really where. But for nearly just over a tenner, I think it's kind of fair because the changes they've made as well, which I find quite nice, is that not only have they. So obviously all the secondaries have changed, as people know. Not all of them, they've been altered, but they've also now included in the book, as an example, that there's the Imperial Knight ones, but all the faction-specific ones are actually inside this book as well. So you don't have to go whipping through your rule book to find which ones you might want to, because even on the when you're picking them as well. So like Shadow Operation is obviously a tier. It tells you all the corresponding Shadow Operation ones from the faction-specific ones you can pick and what page they're on, which is actually quite nice. So you know because. I know you and me, when we were flicking through, which one should I take? Which one should I take? You look, right, Warcraft. Have I got a Warcraft one in my book? That kind of thing. Yeah, and obviously, I think the one thing that probably needs to, but book-wise, I think that's not too bad. Depending on how long they leave between this and the next one, will be my final judgment. If 6 months, I think is, I suppose, fair.
How many events do you think you need to get in to get your money's worth out of that?
I think you should go, if you're paying £13 for event of this, I think you should at least get 13 quid's out of it, 13 quid's worth out of it, which in my opinion would be 13 events. £1 an event.
Okay, well, cool.
I think that's fair.
That's fine. I wasn't expecting you to say 13. I was maybe 3 or 4, but 13.
Well, okay. If you go, so if it's,
100%, you do definitely get your money. Let's
put it this way. Put that in perspective. If you say 3, and it releases every 6 months, that means you're going once every 2 months.
Yeah. It's every 6 months, according to Dave Holland there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure it's every 6 months. I just wanted to clarify. But if you say 3 times for this book, that means you've attended 3 events over a 6-month period. Yeah. At least I think you want a minimum at least double that. You want to at least go once a month, I think, at minimum, just to get value out of it. I think
get your money's worth.
But yeah, overall, actually, I quite like the book in its new format. I think I quite like that. Obviously they're making big adjustments each time it comes out. CP change. I'm happy with the lowering of the halving. I think that's quite nice because it not only. Some people aren't going to be happy with it, but I think actually when you're playing in a tournament environment, I think having too many command points can actually be detrimental to you playing the game. Because you're sitting there going, I can spend all of my points right now. What should I spend it on? I've got all these stratagems. Whereas now you kind of, I suppose you sit there and think, I've only got this many CP.
How many CP? Oh, so go through your list of what you've got.
Tell
us how many CP you've got at the end of that.
Well, I've only got 3 CP.
Wow, spoilers there. It's got 3 CP.
Actually, it might only no. I've only got 1 CP. Pardon me. I've got 1 CP to spend. So there we go. So anyway, I went with a super heavy detachment for knights. Oaths wise, I chose defend the realm and refuse no challenge, which I will grab out in a minute. But that's the chivalric oaths that you get. That you can become virtuous or honourable, and you get benefits depending if you're in that category. Quest for allegiance to House Volker. Which is basically when you're shooting at the nearest unit, you can reroll 1s.
Yep.
And various other things there. So I've gone with one Armiger Warglaive, which is actually the one I'm painting right now here. Which is but it's just a stock, nothing special on him. I've got 2 Knight Moraxes, which are actually these chaps here, with twin lightning locks.
Very nice.
I won't go into too much more detail, other than the fact that their main weapon is the strength 6 minus 2 AP. No, it's heavy 6. Sorry, pardon me, strength 6. But on 6s you get an additional 2 hits with that weapon. So you get 6 shots. Any 6 you roll, you get an additional 2 hits per them. The key stratagem for Volker is also that they get you can have saturation bombardment, which you can pay 1 command point, which means you can then get another 6 on top of that for any 6s you roll to hit. So you could potentially roll 3 extra for one 6 essentially. So we then have the 2 main knights. So I've got a knight gallant, which is the and big fist. He is also my warlord, and I gave him exalted court master tactician. Gave him, and this is where my 2 CP went, because I did buy him a warlord trait and a relic, which obviously
very nice.
costs money. I got him I think it's one that makes him fight first, but also he has a -2 leadership aura when engagement range and -1 to attrition tests.
Okay,
that'd be quite fun. Got a knight paladin. I know you like a knight paladin with the old battle cannon and chainsword, and then the knight valiant, which has been equipped with 2 twin siegebreaker cannons and 2 siegebreaker missiles, and other than that, he's standard stock. Nothing. Thundercoal harpoon and the conflagration cannon.
Very nice.
So yeah, that's what I'm running. So there we go. Hopefully that makes.
You haven't played your knights yet. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I've never played my knights in a proper game.
It's quite fun. Could be quite good. I mean, go for it.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe bad.
Yeah, nice. And how many CP did you start with? 1?
I've got 1 CP, and but obviously there's a slight change. I've taken one of my chivalric codes. If I'm honoured, I actually get an additional CP on my first turn at the beginning. So I'm going to get 1 for that, and then obviously I get 1 on my turn, which is another 1, and then I get 1 on my opponent's turn. So I will gain 3 CP on my first turn.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'll be up to 4 by the end of the turn if I don't spend anything on my turn, which is highly unlikely. So yeah, what about yourself?
Well, let me kind of go through my list, because mine's quite a long list, to be honest.
Oh, God.
But I'm taking necrons. So I was, back when I paid for this event, the balance data sheet hadn't come down, the points drop hadn't been seen yet. So things have changed for necrons.
Indeed.
And before anyone says, I do not have the Silent King, so he's not appearing in my army. But we're going with Novok. It's our dynasty. So Novok, if you didn't know, is +1 to your advance and +1 to your charge. Movement-wise. Also, your AP is increased when you charged, or heroically intervene. Quite nice. The stratagem is +1 attack as well. Just so you know. So I've gone with an outrider, and I've gone with a patrol.
Ooh.
Yeah. So in my outrider, I've got my warlord. Is it going to be this little guy over here? Actually, here he is. Going to be my little chronomancer. Actually, he's not my warlord anymore, but he does have a relic. He has a veil of darkness.
So you paid a CP for your relic.
Well, I'm paying a lot of CP. Also, I start with 2 CP. So the Chronomancer, Tom, because I haven't used him before, or you haven't encountered him before. I have used him.
I think Sam bought one against me when he came down.
Okay, so he's got
very brief.
He's got 4 up invulnerable save. He's not great in combat. He's not particularly great at shooting. He's got the Veil of Darkness, so that's the relic. He can and a squad teleport across the battlefield somewhere. He can give a unit a 5 up invulnerable save. He also can give a reroll on the charge. Okay, so that's quite cool little abilities there as well, if you think what you're going to be doing with him. Next up, I have got a Technomancer. And he is just pretty much bog standard, so he's going to be there to kind of bring stuff back. Got the Nightbringer, because, yes, Antimatter Meteor, Gaze of Death. Charge out of battlefield, shoot me or I kill you, whatever you want to do. I have got 5 Canoptic Scarabs. So I got a little squad of 5 scooting about doing stuff.
Nice.
Got 2 squads of 6 Wraiths, which I'm looking forward to doing. And then also in that detachment, I have got 3 heavy destroyers with the Gauss Destructors. So if you're not familiar with them, they are 1 shot. Strength 9, I believe. Let me just double check that. Strength 10, AP -4, 3d3 damage. So they are pretty nasty. That's that. On the patrol, I've got an Overlord who is my Warlord. He's got Frowl of the Silent King as Warlord trait. He's got Orb of Eternity, so that's like an upgraded resor. So you're resing the whole unit back potentially on a 4-up rather than a 5-up normally. So it's
Disgusting.
quite a nice little, yeah. Next up, I have got a Technomancer with a Canoptic Cloak and the fail-safe Overcharger. So what that does is in your command phase, you can pick a Canoptic unit and give them +1 attack.
Okay.
So really what he'll be doing is running up the Wraiths. Going up, and then boop, they've got an extra attack each, which is quite a cool little thing to do. I've got a squad of 5 Immortals, because it's a patrol. But they're just going to be doing stuff with their Tesla carbines. Got 10 Lich Guards, swords and boards. I've got 6 Scorpec destroyers, and another squad of 3 heavy destroyers with the Gauss Destructors. So that is my army.
How confident are you feeling with playing it?
Confident as anything really, because I was going back to the weekend. Myself and Dave played guard twice, and with the changes of a Lehman Russ with Armor of Contempt and a 2-up save, they were pretty tough. And I was thinking I could just take like 10 Lehman Russes and just go and just have fun and just do that. I was like, I rather, or no, actually, I was thinking a super heavy detachment. And some Scions jumping in, but then I was like, I just do Necrons. I've spent a lot of time on my Necrons, and I quite enjoy playing them. They're quite fun.
Yeah. Well, I say you have been doing a lot of work on them recently, so I think you'd be silly not to take them. Plus, they've had such a big update. I think it'd be interesting to see how they play actually.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's some good stuff there now for Necrons.
Especially those core mechanics and all the slate change. I think it looks quite nice.
Yeah,
Times are good for the Necrons.
For now, for 6 months.
6 months.
Then we'll see how it goes back.
Or the next codex comes out. I don't know. It's just options.
Yeah, whatever comes first. It's not going to be a new codex in 6 months. I think we'll see what happens. Necrons have got some. Yeah, got some good secondaries. Necrons have got some good stuff now. Like I said, I just enjoy playing them. They're so different to playing like Chaos Marines. So yeah, they're good fun. And Chaos Knights, my current army isn't really. It needs some other little bits in there, and I don't want to invest in that because the Chaos Space Marines are coming out, and I'm going to buy some stuff for them. So I'm looking forward to that because there's some cool models coming out. Some brand new possessed models. My holding off has finally paid off. Like for years, I've been like, I want to get some possessed.
Just one more.
Yeah, those models look atrocious, but these ones look amazing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the new possessed models.
Yeah, good. Well, that's that's what we're doing this weekend, and we'll have to see how we
get on.
We'll have to give you a report when we have our next stream, maybe, and see how much we're crying.
Yeah, we do like crying. How's everyone's hobby getting on anyway?
Yeah, come on. So, don't forget, if you're in our Discord, make sure you post up some of your progress tonight, guys, because it'd be good to see how you're doing. And how's if anyone is doing it, how's everyone's armies on parade? I did see some more armies at ease that we're doing. How's the boards going? I did see some very nice posts from a few of you the other day, so glad to see some people are cracking on with their board.
Talking of which, I will put a link for our Discord in the chat.
Oh yes, very good, very good.
And then people can, of course, tell a friend.
Bring
a friend along.
Tell a friend. I can't think of a rhyme that works, doesn't. So.
There's no rhyme for that. Someone tell a friend.
You say sell a friend? Jesus, that's quite.
Tell a friend. It's worth it. I promise.
Some weird patching on this silver undercoat.
Oh, nice. Chaplain on a bike. Everyone loves a chaplain on a bike.
Yeah. No, I must admit that is one of my favourite models actually from the Space Marine range at the moment. That chaplain on a bike. It's just very. I think they got that one spot on.
Oh, 100%. He's a very cool looking model, isn't he?
Yeah. I was actually quite surprised they didn't redo the Lord of the Jump pack, actually, to be fair. for you
Come on,
guys,
Tom.
because I've always thought that's quite an iconic chaos unit actually, especially with you in the vault.
Absolutely, yeah, no, he is absolutely a very iconic unit. You know, he even had a model, but apparently, yeah, he's been taken out for
It was
now.
rather
So
odd, yeah. It's an odd decision, I thought,
it's a
but
bit of a shame, really is. To be honest, I'm a bit disheartened about that. You know, I'm encouraged that cult troops can be featured again.
yeah.
I would imagine he gets legend rules.
I mean, I'm happy.
So
I'm happy with you to play him. So
I mean, the only thing he's gonna like stat wise, he's got a jump pack.
and
That's the only
you better have
difference
two.
to
You better
normal
have two
lord.
wounds as well, right?
Yeah, 2 wounds and a dodgy plasma pistol. Ah!
Right, I'm just going to grab a drink, Tom. So just bear with me one moment.
What's everyone's favourite thing about new changes for the Chaos Space Marine Codex? Don't say 2 wounds. Necron Warriors base coat in the armor, getting bored of them now. Yeah, Necron Warriors. I mean, the thing with Necron Warriors, I did 20 at a time when I did mine, and yeah, it's really draining, but it's also very rewarding when you actually finish painting 20. It's one of those little achievements you can have when you're playing Necrons that you can suddenly go, oh, actually, I've done that. That's great. I don't have to do that again. And then you want to go, oh, well, I've got 40. If I could do 60, or maybe if I do 80. Do 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 do. Welcome back.
So that. Oh, that's better. Getting a bit parched.
Bit dehydrated there, Dave.
Well, yes.
You all right?
Um,
So, as a fair is currently painting some Necron Warriors, working his way through.
there's been quite a
Everyone
lot of
loves
Necron.
painting
I think
infantry.
is it Nevlock? I think have been doing quite a bit of Necron stuff.
Yep.
Which is looking quite cool. Yeah, thinking 31 at a time. No, the more at the same time, the better. That's my opinion. I think I'm doing almost 30, 30 man's worth of Crusader squads at the moment. I've got on the go on the side as well.
That is a lot.
Yeah, I know, but they're so similar in their colour schemes. It's just easier to paint in batches, I think. But you know me, that's how I paint. That's what I do. I like a target. Bit of gratification
Absolutely.
at the end, but the problem is I think I need more and more of that. So the number of I'm going to be painting like 100 models. Go. If I finish this, I'll feel good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Start another boy squad. Minimum of 100 boys. Trying to raise the class level of this Shindig class. Ooh. So tell a friend about Toad. Watch their faces change with joy. Dom and Tom are good. Really bad. How you about that? Well, I thank you for the effort, Jack. Obviously, Dom will pay you that £20 for that haiku if you just come and collect it. Admittedly, that won't. I mean, that definitely won't cover any kind of petrol cost now. So,
Still there, Jack. Still there. It's waiting for you, my friend.
maybe we should do a Black Toad meetup and make pick a place, but somewhere midway out the country or something.
Yep.
For our northern watchers.
But as we're from Sussex, pretty much everything's north. So
I mean, this is true. I mean,
the people from Kent are very northern. So
those accents, it gives it away, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. The north.
From the north. They come from the north. This is starting to take shape now. Quite enjoying this. France is closer than London. I mean, I suppose that's not untrue.
Yeah, when you're
Should we
picking
do?
up French radio on your way to work.
Oh, that's been annoying me last couple of weeks actually. It's not. You're not even picking it up properly. It's just interrupting other radio channels you're trying to listen to.
Best thing I can say about the gas based meeting. Yeah, at long last.
Yes.
Been a long wait.
I think it looks good overall. I think they've done enough
Yeah,
in there
absolutely.
and I think they've. I think the one thing they were quite bold in doing was really pulling out those key ones into separate books as well, and saying this is these ones are not going to be in the book. Properly as in it's like the world world eaters are going to have that. We know that they're getting their due as well, which I think is nice. They could have easily just done the same thing and just rolled everything in again and made it all very similar. But there definitely feels. I was watching a an Emperor's Children battle report, and they were playing quite nicely with the new rules. So
yeah, I mean Emperor's Children. Yeah, they got some nice love there. So it's quite nice that a lot of these have got quite unique feeling kind of traits and stratagems. Like Iron Warriors having cannon fodder cultists. I think that's just brilliant. So Iron Warrior-esque.
Jack says, don't even mention petrol. Having a 2-litre turbo that'll only run on super unleaded is killing me. Well, could always meet at Warhammer World. SA may try come down your window. Well, I said if you swing by this way, I'm sure one of us can sort something out. It was one of those. It'd be quite nice if we. I mean, hopefully we'll get to do an event soon and we can invite a few people down for that.
Yeah, have a weekend in sunny Sussex.
We'll rent a hall out for the weekend. There we go. That'll be nice and cheap. And then maybe have a Black Toad Apocalypse game. Done over 2 days. Yeah, it'll be fine. The Black Toad community apocalypse game.
Good models coming down. Be good. So, Tom, we've talked lots about hobby. Shall we talk about some TV?
Oh, we can do. I can. I mean, I'm sure you've watched almost all The Boys, if not all of it. In which case, I haven't watched any of it this morning.
I'm up to date with The Boys.
Yeah,
I think there's still a couple more episodes.
Is it? I thought it was the last one, wasn't it, recently? Or maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think there's more to it.
I finished Obi-Wan.
What did you think?
I enjoyed it overall. I thought me and a colleague at work were talking about this. And I think the one issue it had was because both the main protagonists aren't going to die. You kind of lose a bit of, I suppose, fear over what's going to happen to them.
Yes.
Actually, if I'm totally honest, I think obviously for those of you who may not watch, I don't want to give too much away, but the certain, what happened in the last one, and you think, why didn't you just come on, why?
There's some bits there they could have changed.
But overall, it was an enjoyable little mini series. Is it my most favourite? I don't know. Out of the ones they've done, probably not. But at the same time, it was nice to see Ewan McGregor back in his role as Obi-Wan anyway. So,
I think I enjoyed it. I thought it started really well, had a bit of a funny middle with a couple of episodes, and then ended well. I like the end. I thought it was quite nice. But you're right. Who's cast staying in it, and you're like, well, they're there till New Hope, and then after a few scenes, they're gone. And then you've got all the others in there. But no, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good, and I think it's quite nice to have the original actors come back and reprise their roles.
You're lucky they were just about at the right age, I think is the lucky thing about it. Although it was weird to see, obviously, the younger of the actors playing some of the flashback scenes. did look a bit weird, but at the same time, I think it served its purpose. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I, I think like we look back at Boba Fett, and I think it was definitely a stronger one than Boba Fett.
I don't know if watched Boba Fett, I must confess. I've been trying to watch Miss Marvel. Which is,
Okay, I still haven't watched any of that.
yeah. Well, I got to the third episode. It started to. Yeah, you know what I mean. Oh, you'll probably see if you feel the same way. Yeah, it was just getting a bit more difficult to watch. So.
Okay, fair dues. Take your word for it.
Without giving anything away, but you'll.
You literally gave nothing away,
Exactly.
so
That's my point. That's what
I
I'm trying to do.
appreciate that.
It was more of a feeling. I didn't want to. Yeah.
Ooh.
It's
The first episode of The Boys was mental. Hard to get those images out of my head. Yeah, it is. Yeah, don't do drugs, kids. Yeah, it's completely correct.
The Boys. I've got
Yeah,
Vicky, got to sit down and watch that.
should be like a reactionary video you should do, Tom. Obi-Wan Model was fantastic. That's the Obi show off how powerful he actually is. Yeah, I think that was a nice little sub story of him trying to regain his powers a bit. And at the end, obviously, he's got a bit more back to his oldie ways.
Yeah. Other than that, though, yeah, I haven't watched an awful lot. I watched. What did I watch yesterday? I was trying to watch because obviously when I paint, I tend to watch stuff that I've kind of digested before, so I don't have to concentrate fully on it. I watched Cuban Fury.
Oh, nice.
With Nick Frost.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous. Oh,
Nicky Frost.
yeah, I thought O'Dowd's role in that was actually quite amusing. To be fair, I forgot. Playing that one guy at work, you know.
Yeah.
And what other things? I'm trying to think if I watched anything else of note. No, not really. To be honest, that's pretty much where I'm. Yeah, series-wise, that's kind of where I'm up to. I've got quite a bit to catch up on, really, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, The Boys is the main one. That's why I want to watch that. But I enjoyed watching that kind of back to back previously, so I was just trying to wait for it to get a little bit ahead. So.
Did you ever get into Umbrella Academy?
No, but I saw there was a new season out. I know Vicky's watched it.
Or the new season?
Yeah.
Or the old ones?
I don't know if she's watched the new season, but I know she has watched the previous ones. I don't know if she actually knew there was another one out yet. So.
But yeah, what's the new season of that?
I haven't watched any of that though.
I'm enjoying that at the moment. I don't know if anyone else in the chat has watched any of these. Watched The Boys or Obi-Wan or Umbrella Academy. Please put your thoughts below.
Have you watched Multiverse of Madness yet?
Not yet. No, it's on the list of things to watch. It's one of those things that I've got to spend a bit of time and actually watch it properly.
Yes, I'd advise that.
So I'm waiting to get a bit of time to actually sit down and watch that. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a balance at the moment between work life, family life, and hobby stuff. So I'm, obviously this event coming up, I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna get this stuff painted. So the last couple of days I've been up here doing little bits and trying to get these guys up and up to scratch. Hopefully they will be. Trying to finish off stuff, more Umbrella. Looking forward to seeing it though. Yeah. Yes, there is quite a few nice little programs out at the moment to kind of dip in and give it a little watch.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
You're excused.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to going to watch Thor.
Yep.
That's one thing I'm going to probably go to cinema to watch it, I think.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, obviously, if you want to come along, Dom, you're more than welcome.
Very nice of you, Thomas. Very nice of you.
Into your busy schedule.
Yeah, I'm a busy boy. Yeah, it's maybe. I'm trying to think what else I've been doing hobby-wise. I've kind of been doing a little like snipping models out and doing little bits here and there. But actually, painting. I'm all about necrons at the moment.
Yeah, I noticed obviously you've had reason to really focus on them. So, Christ, mess these models up. I had to order some more basing material actually today because I realised I was a bit short on some. I just realised I think these cannons are upside down. That's not good. Oh no. Oh no.
What have you done? Have you glued the cannons upside down?
I did these so long ago. I do. But if we look here, you'll see there's a
Oh yeah.
this one.
Oh no.
Just been painting like that doesn't look right. I was just like, looking at it. Like, damn it. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, the drums are meant to be facing up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I can even fix them because they're too. I'll have to have a go maybe later. I think I can probably get away with it for one tournament, and I'll. Someone go, that's not WYSIWYG. They're wrong. What? They couldn't fire like that.
Yeah. The Halo series on Paramount the other day. Oh,
Of
nice.
course, Paramount's got their new streaming service, hasn't it, as well? Not that I'm going to sign up to yet another streaming service. To be fair, I think I've got enough. I suppose that's quite an interesting one because obviously at the moment you're seeing obviously a lot of other, brands doing their own streaming, which obviously means most likely some of their stuff's going to start coming off the other platforms that we all use, and you kind of got to think, Christ, you're going to have to start going, right, what do I fancy watching this month? I'm going to cancel this one so I can watch this particular series and come back to this another. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So there's
I
things.
mean, how many streaming services? How many streaming services is too many streaming services?
I already think I have too many now.
Yeah.
I
think if I was, being honest, I could probably get rid of one.
Yeah.
But then which one do you get rid of?
I mean, I'm running 3 at the moment. That's what I'm doing. And that's Amazon Prime, but that's because that has a dual purpose. That's not just for streaming. That's also for other things. Netflix, because it just has such a wide variety on it, and Disney. Disney's the one that I would probably cancel first.
Yeah.
Because that's very dependent on what's just been released at the moment. There's no real benefit to keeping it, I think. After you've watched, whether it be Obi-Wan or Obi-Wan or whatever the new one that's come out that month. I think if you're never going to go and watch another Marvel film at the cinema, you can stick with it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, different situations. I mean, for us, I don't know. Like Amazon's good for its own reasons, isn't it? Really.
Yes.
Might be Netflix.
I must admit, the more I've used Netflix recently, the more that's the one I would probably permanently get rid of for a few people, because actually a lot of it's starting to become very recycled of the same stuff each month. Like I said, Disney's about, in my opinion, this series has come out, I'm going to watch that and then probably dump it. Netflix is like, you used to always keep it because it's like, it's got so many things on it. But I think nowadays, I think that's dwindled a bit and it's become more of a standard. You kind of watch it for their shows, I suppose, sometimes when they release a decent set of shows or a movie. Right.
Yeah, well, that's it. I think for us, as a family, Disney's great. Disney's getting some good stuff coming out. Amazon's Amazon. You obviously got like Warhammer TV. Like, actually, before we were going to talk about this, because obviously we had to make our list up, and luckily Battlescribe came in last minute, saved the day, so we could all go and make our armies on Battlescribe. However, beforehand, I was trying to do it on the Warhammer app, and I think you're having the same problems from a different point of view from your knights. It's just so painful trying to get anything done on there and try and make those lists legal. When you're like, I know I can do this, but the app is preventing me from doing it. It's just.
I actually had that very specifically with a couple of things. So the Crusader Squad was one of them, where it doesn't let you take a known valid configuration. And I'm looking in the codes, reading it, going, no, this is doable. Why can't I do this? And you're like, why? I just want to put what I know I can put in, and I can't even fudge it. That's the annoying thing about it. You can't fudge it. Battlescribe, you can kind of fudge it because you go, right, I'll just alter this the way I want it to work, and I'll just put the extra points in or whatever. But with the Warhammer app, you're basically, if it's not in there in the way that they want, you can't do anything about it. That's it, you're done.
Yeah.
And then obviously with my knight list, which I was just talking about previously, the issue I have with that is that some of the upgrades aren't on there at all. So I'm sitting there going, well, I know I can spend 30 points on this to make the list, an even 2,000, but they're not there. How do you deal with that? And that's not even like
Yeah.
a new codex. That's been out quite a while now.
Yeah. I mean, what's quite nice about, so going back with the Warhammer app, when you had the points drops, it was pretty much immediate that the changes would be on there. You just had to update it, rather than with Battlescribe, so we've had to wait
A
2
little while.
weeks, maybe
About a
2
week. No, it's
weeks,
about a week, I think.
2 weeks.
About a week.
Yeah, they had to wait a little while before it came out, so you had some ideas on like what you could do roughly, but it's just not still a bit buggy really, and they're not particularly user friendly interface.
Well, the other thing I had with my knights actually is another worth mentioning. When I got it all in there, I was just looking at the list, and when I added the last night, no matter what I did, it put a massive "this thing is not populated yet" message over the top of what I'd just put in. Every time I added the storm spear missiles on top of one of the knights, and it was like no, and then it put a big green box saying this is not currently populated, but blocked the plus button for adding more units, and also the unit underneath you couldn't delete.
Just so buggy.
So
I mean, fortunately, they do seem to be doing updates often.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them are just to keep up with the change of the FAQs and points and stuff. But I do like to think that they are working in the background.
You hope so, don't
That
you?
maybe we've all had different experiences. And if you ask 10 of us, maybe a couple of us are then going, actually, no, they've solved that problem for me. But now I have this problem.
Yeah. I mean, obviously Battlescribe, I don't think it's getting updated anymore from an application point of view. But obviously, because they've made it so that it's more about the data file, I suppose, it's not that big of a deal. So that's fine. I mean, Battlescribe is good for what it does, but you do kind of want to have the official app working properly if they're selling it for money. And obviously, with regards to the the Warhammer TV part of it, again, it's been a little bit lackluster again, isn't it?
They've kind of let it drop again.
But I don't want to get into that again. We just turn into whingy people, dumb.
We're not whingy people, though, are we, Tom?
No, not at all. We're fair and considered.
Oh, 100%.
We'll go here. So, Captain Justice, they mentioned what's happening with Star Trek Discovery and Picard with Paramount popping up. Don't know. I mean, Picard was a commissioned Amazon series, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know whether that means they probably had the rights to it, given whether the whatever sequel is doesn't get past that, we don't know. Depends how long they signed for, I suppose. Count Jekyll says also the streaming services is stupid at the minute. YouTube is by far the worst. Don't make any of their own content. Pay credit. Yes. YouTube is an interesting one because obviously you can pay YouTube Premium to get ad-free, which I won't do personally. Although I do watch quite a lot of YouTube content, to be fair. I found myself drifting more towards Twitch now, though.
Oh, really?
But with Twitch, it's more about an individual creator's content. You go to watch that particular person. So you kind of find that you go back to that, and that's specifically what you go there to watch it for, which I quite like. And obviously, if you want to, you can subscribe to their, or you can send them a boost or whatever for their channel. And that's quite nice. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, we could, if we really wanted to, put some members perks on our channel and have a few of you, if you wanted to, chip some donations in. But we don't feel we're there, do we? I think.
No. I mean, it'd be quite nice if people were to use the Goblin Gaping League. Jokes aside. Yeah, no, we're not. Yeah,
we've discussed it, and we think we're not at that size of a channel yet. I mean, it's nice to have a little bit of, but we're not looking to make a living off this because we know we're not being that level of popular for ad revenue is quite a difficult one. YouTube's a funny service for how much they get out of it in comparison to what a lot of people put into it. Obviously, I know you're only as good as the content you create, of course, which is fair enough. What else? Dave said he had the same with the Warhammer, won't let you? But yeah, again, there's little options that you can't put them on. I couldn't put 2 weapons on my Crusader Squadron. I know you can after reading the Codex. And Jack says most annoying bugs I had were tactical squads saying you can't have special and heavy in a 10-man system. Yeah, that's that's one of the things. Yeah, things like that. It's all the little tiny things which I don't think have been bug checked, and I think that's where a lot of annoyance comes from. And Orc says, "Evening, missed the start of the stream. Working on my Ghost Arc / Doomsday Arc. Well, cool. Well, welcome to the stream. What time is it? Hmm, fair enough. Hopefully we'll be around for a little bit longer. So you don't feel like you just turned off and we disappear, Orkster.
See you later, Orkster.
But yeah, well there we go. That's streaming services covered and membership and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. All good stuff. All good stuff.
How's your Necron coming along there, Dom?
Well, I don't know what it'll pick up. Getting there slowly. Woo. So I've done most of weathering. I've got to start working on the blues now. The base is done. The metals are pretty much done. It's got to work on the blues. I'm going to put some. Currently, I'm applying some. What other blues have I got here? Done. Altdorf blue is the base. Going to wash. I'm going to start putting this blue on here, and then start the off whites and whites, and then the glazes.
Cool.
And yeah, slowly getting there.
Fixed.
I mean, technically, like, I could run them as they are if I really needed to for the event, but for my own satisfaction, I'm like, yeah, I need to get these done.
If you feel you've got the time to do it, you may as well add a little extra to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't do any harm, does it?
No, exactly. So I want to get these all looking super duper.
So, like, I mean, technically, my knight now has more than 3 colours on it, so it's tabletop, but I'm not happy with it.
Yeah.
It's funny, yeah. That's quite funny because obviously we've met a lot of people over the years that have very different levels of what is acceptable. What they find where they can stop and say I can use that without feeling too bad about it. Ranging from people who do like a wash and a couple of bits and say, way. Some people that like I've got to have at least 80 colours on this thing, or I'm not happy with it, and then never finish it properly, or always say it's never finished.
Yeah, I suppose it's up to what people
Yeah.
what people enjoy of the hobby. I think we talked about this,
Yeah.
a couple of weeks ago, what people take away from the hobby. But yeah, at what point do you want to prove yourself on a key model and kind of keep going and like really push yourself? Because you push yourself on this model to learn something new, and hopefully the next model you progress that a little bit further, or do you get, or you're like, this is the standard I want. I'm going to do this, this, and this, and that's it. And I go this, and that's it. Because when you've just done those key points, when you put the squad together, you're like, all right, they look pretty good. And then you put it with the army, and like, oh yeah, that looks really cool. So yeah, it's a difficult one.
Said that before. As a whole, sometimes things can change your perspective on what you've painted. Because you go, oh, actually, as a whole, I'm not too bothered about that. But then you take that one model out and you go, oh, I could do that one. But of course, you could do it better. That's always the way, isn't it? It's like you can always improve.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, you can always try something a little bit different. What's everyone's stance on that when it comes to painting models? Oh, very nice. You do plasma melter guy. Is it a thermal lance?
Thermal lance, yeah.
Or thermal spear.
Thermal spear. That's one, yeah. Which I think strength 9, d6 plus 2 damage at half range.
Welcome back, Vanguard.
Been lurking for 30 minutes while he's been listening to us while driving. I hope you haven't been watching us while driving. That's a different offence. But yeah, I think if I'm telling you honest, with my knights, I'm actually having enjoyed them so much, and actually, as in putting them together and painting them, that point of view. The more I look at them, I think I wouldn't mind getting a few more of the special ones from Forge World.
Yeah, the ones that like the lances and the sword,
building
all that stuff.
Building quite an interesting range for them, because actually they're quite fun to paint. I don't find them stressful. Because yes, I mean the Armigers are a perfect example of that. I mean it is the model goes together so nicely. Cause obviously the kit for the Armigers is actually, and probably for your War Dogs, is really nice, simple kit. There's not a lot of irritation with it. It's 2 legs and then the body goes on basically. Well, it's the same with the bigger knights because it's all very similar format. I mean, there is actually only 3 for the Games Workshop side of one. There's only 3 models for the knights anyway. Yeah, you got obviously with different loadouts, but you got the Armiger, the knight, the normal knight, and the Questor knight, and the Knight Dominus.
Yeah, I mean the Chaos Knights obviously had a bit of a change in the last
Yeah.
edition and a half. They've had some more like kits jumped in there as well. But yeah, fundamentally they're not that complicated to make a lot of the time. They are really cool kits to make. And my wife is spraying the hose against the door. I was like, oh my goodness, it's raining.
She's trying to get your attention.
I don't know what she's doing. Be in trouble.
This is going to be. I will not be painting any more tonight because I've done a fair amount. Now I'm going to let that dry properly before I start scraping the stuff off it. So.
Yeah.
Bit tonight. That's all right. I'm happy with that. Should have this.
Oh, you know it's painted in the same scheme, Tom. Are they? Oh, so we've got some bits about painting here. It comes down to how much.
Look, I will. Let me get them.
I have them the appearance of an army. Characters, I'll try and do extra, but the troops consistently change my approach to challenging. Yeah, I think that's the same for most people. Oops, there you go, Tom. Look at those legs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, very nice. As about as painting is my thing as good as you want.
My knights are. You probably. I don't know how well you can see them from here, but they are actually a Templar themed knight detachment, basically. So they're all black, white, and red.
Yeah.
Which I like, and I've been adding some Templar-esque themes like the crosses and some chains and stuff, just for a little bit of. I'll see if I can show you one of the. Okay. So there's a bit more of a. This is the general scheme I've gone with. Quite simple on the back. That's just the way I paint metal, I think. I will admit, actually, the more I've done them, I've been adding more detail to them as I've redone the next one and the next one, because I go and I go, oh, look at this pipework. I could make the joining pipes a little different colour, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I think I do the same. Like I compare my first night to like some of my later ones, because I've almost did them in 3 stages. I've got like my very first night, which I remember for Apocalypse game we did years ago when the night kit first came out. Like there were 3 chaos players, and I think we all grabbed a knight each, and we're like, let's make him chaosy. So we used the rules for Imperial Knights and converted them chaos.
That was cool.
So I got that one, and then I got them when they had the Renegade Knight Codex. I got a couple more, chuck them in there, and they're a different stage. And then finally, I've got my bigger knight and the War Dogs. So I can kind of see different trends from my painting throughout.
So you probably see, like for instance, that one, I started doing some of the that's better, a bit of the inlay work on there, just to bring out.
It's really good.
Yeah, but that's what kind of, but that becomes, I think that, as we were saying, that kind of then becomes your new standard. You know, that's where you want to get them to. So when I was doing the Valiant, I'm like, I'm probably going to come back to that, because at the moment it's at the standard I'm happy for it to play in a game. But actually, when looking at it, I'm going, I could do a few more bits with that. And Azrael, yes, free blades. I actually have a Green Knight, which is one of my free blades. I also have a Red Scorpion Knight, which is done in the yellow and grey for them. And I have one Chaos Knight, which is for my Night Lords, which I've done with skulls and lightning bolts all over it. Which I kind of want to go back and do, but the problem is those were my original. Because I think Don remembers I bought 5 knights, because my plan was to do one in every different colour. And then I basically converted 2 to my Templars, and then kept the other 3 as the kind of free blade-esque knights for doing various other little things that I quite fancy doing as a change. But now, having done the Templar ones, I'm kind of like, I quite like this scheme. This is what I'm going with. It was a nice experience to try out different colour schemes, because that's one of the primary reasons I did it. The Green Knight cannot change, because that's had 4 repaint jobs on it.
That's a lot.
And I don't think it will.
Hello, underdog. Yeah. Another coat. Chuck more on.
It's gotten bigger this night. It's about an extra 3 inches off the ground. but yeah, so that, yeah, I mean that is actually there. This is the army I'm taking effectively. This lot here. So there you go. Now this is it. 2,000 points, which I'm quite happy with.
That's very cool, mate.
Yeah. Just got to get the bases done on these guys. Although Vicky and Vicky were talking about this, we quite like them without the bases. Well, I think they look quite nice with their feet on the ground. But obviously you need the bases for rules reasons.
Yeah, those pesky rules.
Yeah,
getting in the way of all the fun.
Put these guys on there. Yeah. Little. Oh yes, there we go.
That's why I quite like the Defiler.
Yeah.
Because I was like, got no base.
Yeah. I mean, God knows if they tried to give that a base, that'd be more. It's impossible, surely.
Well, originally when I first got them, I was going to try and do bases for them, but I was like, oh, could be Mahusive bases. Unless you're going to curl the legs round. But then that's no fun, is it?
I must admit, the one thing I was quite surprised was the knight, the bigger knight, obviously the one with the. I mean, it's not actually a bigger knight, is it? The legs are actually the same. It's just
legs are the same.
They've done different paneling basically. You know.
Yeah.
But actually, height wise, it's more the Dominus body over the top has got a wider frame. But that's about it. It's not really that different. For some reason I thought the one you had was a hair taller than your other ones, but it really wasn't.
It's the way I positioned it.
Yeah.
It looks a bit taller because I think I was saying before about how you can repose it and you can take things away. So, for instance, I don't think I've put the connecting pipes underneath, like the hydraulic hoses on the legs.
For the joins that because that limits what you can do with the legs, doesn't it? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was just like, I can add more dynamics to it. I'd rather have a more dynamic looking model than go, oh well, and someone go, oh well, you're missing the hoses. I'm okay. These things happen, don't they? Yeah. It's chaos. Doesn't need them.
Doesn't need it. It's
got
all
demon
internal.
legs.
It's internal.
Yeah. Demon stompy legs. But yeah.
Right, there's that there. Well, are we about done?
We're pretty much there, aren't we? Yeah.
Because I think both myself and Dom are a little bit on the tired side tonight as well. Just to you guys know, because it's been.
Oh, tuck it out.
Yeah.
So guys, remember, there's a load of amazing models coming out for Chaos soon.
Yes.
And
the Codex.
And the Codex. So if you haven't ordered the Codex, there's something wrong with you. But there is a link below, down this area. Click on that link. Go buy yourself a Chaos Codex.
Up here, there is a link. There's a Goblin Gaming logo up there, which you probably see during the stream. You should have a look at that and then use the link down below.
Yeah.
In the description.
Well, just use the link straight. Just use the link. Just click on it. Clickety click. And then what that'll do is take you to Goblin Gaming. Go check out some amazing bargains. Buy yourself maybe the dice. I've personally gone with the Codex and the cards.
I have as well.
Because I've kind of slated the cards in the past, but they do come in handy. So I've ordered them. I'm looking forward to them turning up. And there's all the other models down there. Go click on that. Buy yourself something. Or buy your mate who plays Chaos, the new Codex. Because he's probably been moaning for several years about the lack of
I bought Tom 5 of them just to make sure he had them.
Yeah, so I'd definitely get a copy. And then what happens, if you use that link, a little bit of money creeps back to the channel. And then we can afford to do amazing things for the channel, like Apocalypse games. And it all goes out to you guys. That's my only plug.
That's it. No, it's a good plug. So
thank you very much.
It's nice.
Yeah, thank you. I've been working on that. But guys, thank you as always. It was amazing. Hopefully next week.
Game.
Next week I'll have a Chaos Codex.
Oh, actually, yeah. Do you know what? I just realised we can't do a game next week.
Because you're scared?
No, you know what week it is. It's my on-call week.
Oh, Tom. Sad times. I'm sure we'll sort something. We'll come up with an idea.
We'll come up with an idea. I mean, we could always risk it. I just, live stream and on-call, maybe not to Biz combo.
Maybe not. But we'll work something out anyway. Yes. But until later, ladies and gents, it's been a pleasure. I am Dom, and this is
Unbelievable. I'm Tom. What's wrong with you?
He's Tom. Tom.
Are you Dom?
Okay.
Tom?
And we are Black Toe
Oh,
Studios.
indeed. Thank
And
you,
until
everyone.
next time, see you later.
We will see you soon.